I'm Tiphaine Calmettes. I was in residency during 2 months and a half in Sputnik. The project I proposed was a project I started before about images and collection of images artists used to work with and how they can talk about their practice and make sense by their own. I start to read the work about Muriel Peak, who is speaking about the work of Sebald, who is a German writer. He used to put images in his work, and she started to think about the links with images and divination, like cards, and how we can use a trace of the past as clue for the future. In parallel, I start also to read a French philosopher who is Calmettes, who speak about archifossil and ancestrality, and how science can talk about things happens before human being, and how we can believe in this theory. So I start to make link between ancestrality and future, and they are both in common that human is not here to tell the truth about it, and we have to read in science to invent kind of story. And start with this theoretical thinking, I decided to make an approach of this by experience. So I decided to leave Bratislava and to make a road trip, 10-day road trip throughout Slovakia, with passing by many important points of the country, helping by Petra, Tariankova, and a lot of people I meet here. So I start to make a big trail by car, and passing by a cave, a wooden church, botanical garden, natural history museum, ethnographic museum, and different art center were in the different little city in the country. And this project was in order to collect some images made by my own, and to have some materials to work with after. So when I come back, I start to collect and to select some images, and also I realized I had also some writing and by my own, and some other writing I pick up from different lectures and books before leaving. And so was the start of my project to the exhibition Astragal in Phoenix. So the exhibition is composed with those images, and the text were linked together, and the images and the text are not an illustration each other, but more like an open way to read them. I start also to make objects inspired by what I see during my road trip, and mostly about corals, fossils, and cave, about the texture of the object and how they can be linked with human body and particularly mind. So I start to think about what could be a skin of minerals, and how they can be linked with the body, like passing from interior to exterior and back, and to make like some clothes with So I start to work with silicones and to make this kind of skin in the size of my body. So one is more like a cape inspired by the patterns of cave with stalactites, and the other one is a sleeping bag, seems to, and inspired by corals with a small part of the corals. On the floor we can see some balls who are made by footprints, and it was a way of thinking about what trace and what kind of fossils we can let for people in the future. So people can walk on it and also start to collect them, maybe to store them, I don't know, and it's installed in a random way. I think this experience is a good start to continue this this way of thinking about images and divination, and for sure I would like to continue to search more about it and continue to make links with images, text and object as a way of thinking. The project I proposed for Bratislava was about the images, text and object collection as a way of thinking, but also how images can sweat in the space, how we can create objects from images, and what can we think about the new life of those objects and the relation between all together. How can they make a new meaning, putting in a new organization.